can I just be really, really honest? I think this is one of the most cowardly things I've ever seen in politics. Winston fucking Peters, who had the ability and chance, if he wanted to stop the regulatory standards bill, passed it, and now he's saying, I'm going to oppose it. Honestly, I'm sorry, I don't accept it was a part of the coalition agreement, because what he's actively saying is there is this terrible policy that I had to sign on so I wouldn't find my balls. I mean, he could have blown it up in a heartbeat. He chose not to. He is literally the definition of having his cake and eating it too, because he passed it. And you wait till we play the story if you've seen no footage. Last week in the House, what New Zealand First said about this thing, they were all glowing about it. And today he's basically saying this is communism. I mean, he's not using those words, but he's saying it's the worst of the worst. It is the most cowardly thing I've ever seen in politics. Let's have a squiz.
It only became law 2 days ago with the help of his party, but Winston Peters is already vowing to ditch it. A coalition clash has erupted after the New Zealand First leader publicly stated he'll repeal David Seymour's Regulatory Standards Act. Peters says he'll campaign against it in next year's election. David Seymour firing back with a warning that New Zealand First is cozying up to Labour. Here's senior political reporter Benedict Collins.
Speaker! This time last week, the government was harmoniously passing a new law.
Mr. Speaker, the Regulatory Standards Bill is a good idea that has been a long time coming.
Yeah, 20 years. He said today in one of the interviews that this has been Act's plan for 20 years. So, John Key, any of those people that hand shook him, probably Don Brash is in there as well. You've all got a part of this. Because this has been Act's plan for 20 years. Yeah. 20 years. This is the definition of the long game. And they're going to show it in here. You wait till you see last week what New Zealand First was saying about this regulatory standards bill that today Winston Peters is saying is of the devil.
I congratulate the ACT Party.
New Zealand First was singing its praises.
We support this bill because on the fundamentals it promotes open and accountable government that legislates with key principles in mind: the rule of law, efficiency in regulation, property rights.
The party's position was crystal clear.
We have no hesitation in commending this bill to the House.
But
they had no hesitation last week, but today this is undemocratic. But last week, no hesitation. So therefore, did you just finally read it for the first time, Mr. Peters, and realise what you had passed? Or last week were you lying? Because they're the only two options. You've only just realised what you've passed, or you were lying last week. They're your only two options.
For a week, and it turns out they actually detest this law.
Because you're putting all the power in the hands of a small unelected committee.
Yes.
That's not how democracy works.
Yes.
Democracy works this way. The politicians make the decision and the people get to pass their verdict every 3 years.
So you're actively telling us, Mr. Peters, that this is not how democracy works. The policy and legislation that you enable to happen is also enabling democracy not to work. So you broke democracy, Mr. Peters, and now you're trying to go, but we're going to do something about it. You could have done something about it 2 weeks ago. Not next year. Not in 18 months from now.
Objecting to a regulatory standards board having oversight of and weighing in on ministers' legislation.
That sort of intervention in the democratic process is not fit for a modern democracy. It was in the coalition agreement, but we will campaign against it in 2026.
Oh, well, that's great.
Well, it's pretty worrying because that's Labor's position. It sounds like he's getting ready to go with Labor again.
Saying Mr. Peters is all over the place.
It's hard to know what he's trying to do from one day to the next. What's clear is that this is a landmark piece of legislation that ACT would never vote to get rid of. So if he wants to do that, he's got to go with Labor.
Don't make me laugh.
Mr Seymour says ACT has worked on this law for 20 years and keeping it is a bottom line.
If his goal is to get rid of the Regulatory Standards Act, he's not going to get votes from us to do that, so he'd have to go with Labor.
The way that the government is polling, the general unpopularity that they're experiencing, perhaps is having an impact on Winston Peters and New Zealand First, and it looks like they're wanting to differentiate themselves.
Yep.
Labor clearly enjoying the coalition chaos.